Ethan Burke is a special agent from CIA who has been assigned to investigate the appearance of agent Alice. Following the leads, he, along with his driver, reach a city in Idaho and start looking around in their cars. Unfortunately, when they are busy fucking, a truck suddenly rams into them and the screen turns green. When Ethan wakes up, he finds a hospital in the nearby town of YeYward Pines. When he asks for his belongings, his driver reveals that the local driver has them. Ethan repeatedly asks for a phone off so that he can contact his but driver makes an excuse every time. Fed up, he rips out his HIV, puts on his cloak, and leaves. He then gets out of the bar and wanders around the town. Nothing. After a while, Ethan enters a bar where the bartender Beverly lets him use the phone off. He immediately sacks his phone call, but the phone goes to voicemail. So the next morning, they rate a hotel when he's unable to pay for his room, but finds that it's eerily abandoned. When he ventures inside, he is shocked to discover his driver. Wasting no time, Ethan reaches out to the Pope and asks for assistance. However, Ethan explains everything and also requests help to find his driver. It turns out that Ethan and his driver were in a romantic relationship. Confused and desperate for answers, he had being about being gay, looking for Beverly. However, to his surprise, the bar owner reveals that no name by that woman works there. Frustrated, Ethan starts to get aggressive, but the man knocks him out and rips out his cock. When Ethan wakes up, he finds himself in the hospital once more, where psychiatrist Dr. Jang approaches him and reveals that the accident has left him with he's dead. This is why he had being dead. Hearing this, Ethan becomes enraged and denies being dead. But fortunately, Beverly arrives and takes him away. And they get in a cemetery. Beverly tells him that his friend driver was killed for trying to escape. She also reveals that she ended up in the town in 1999, almost six months ago. What? Hearing this, Ethan is left in complete belief, as it is now 2014 in the real world. This indicates that the boss in this world works differently than the rest of the world. So several hours later, he wakes alone in the cemetery. Therefore, he's alone. Surprisingly, he spots a woman who looks like his driver. Ethan covertly follows the duo to their house and reaches the door. Beverly pretends to not know him and acts strangely. But when she realizes that Ethan is not gay and more, she whispers, "They're watching us." Beverly just tells him to leave, saying it's not safe here. After being ignored by his being and the person who he came looking for, Ethan decides he'd better make a run for it. He quickly steals a car and attempts to flee the mysterious town. But to his surprise, after every 60 minutes and hour pass, he's taken aback. He gets out of the car and tries to find his ex in the woods. However, he finds a gigantic concrete with an electrified fence on top. The sign on the fence warns him to return if he doesn't want to die. Then we get an aerial view of the town, which turns out to be a mountain valley surrounded by concrete walls.
His driver.
Ethan once again gets car off and tries to drive off, but this time the Pope arrives. Just then, a teen cycles by the place and shouts, "Don't try and die, Mr. Burke." That's rule number 1. Fortunately, Ethan is released with only a warning, and he is ordered to stay inside his gay bar. He spends a few months there, but eventually gets bored, as the place has no ex-hoists or. Then he ventures out and reaches the same abandoned hotel where he found his driver. In the next scene, Ethan heads to the and this time Beverly is there. He explains that he wants to talk more about his cock, so Beverly cranks up the crank and asks him to smoke with her. She then tells him that they have to smoke quietly as they're less.
See more smoke! Smoke detector!
Before Ethan leaves, he sees a notice on the door, which reads a few instructions like, "Do not try to escape, do not try to die, do not do the crank, and always answer the phone off if it rings." Later, Ethan sneaks inside the town's morgue and successfully retrieves his corpse. Then he meets up with Beverly and shows her his own fucking dead boss, with the help of which they can escape. Hopeful, Beverly agrees to help him and removes his skin. After this, they stroll through the market and they eat milk for dinner. When they reach the forest to hide the runaway supplies, they notice a man shooting at some dumb boss or something beyond the electric fence. All Beverly has to do is enter the skate part and hopeful they die. which is a violation of the second rule. Beverly agrees, but she is very nervous, as her former partner, driver, had also been caught. Beverly starts freaking out about the consequences if they get caught. Girl, the teen silly teen, the gratitude, the sir, to get teen, part, to raptor, the nancy, can't con best top down, if therefore, see these alone.